أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. Today inshallah we are going to study the pointers which are called ism ishara in Arabic, and these are the words such as this, that, those, these. Alright, such words are called ism ishara in Arabic, and for ease we are simply going to call them pointers, okay, because they are used to point towards certain asma. Alright, so let's begin our lesson inshallah, and as always, of course, we're going to ask for help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this concept easy to deliver as well as to understand. So Rabbi Yasir wala tu'assir wa tamim bil khair. Amin ya rabbal alameen. Notice how I said Amin ya rabbal alameen and not rabbul alameen. Alright, now this is something that we have already covered in the previous lesson, the Munada one. Alright, so if you haven't yet watched that lesson, I would really urge you to go and watch that so that you can be at par inshallah. Okay, so first of all, as always, some simple terminologies. For example, we have the English sentence, this book is interesting. Now I am pointing towards the book. Alright, so this is called the ism that gets pointed at is called musharun ilayh. Okay, it is the one that gets pointed at. Okay, musharun ilayh. Then the word that I use for pointing is called ism ishara, or simply a pointer. Now remember how we did that we studied that there are 7 situations for an ism to be in marfa status, and this one is the last one. Okay, so we have done all 6 of those situations, alhamdulillah, and now we are going to study the last situation that can make an ism marfa. Okay, so all the pointers, all the pointing nouns, all the asma ishara are marfa by default. And one thing that you must remember is that the ism ishara and the musharun ilayh must have identical ism characteristics. What do I mean by the ism characteristics? An ism gives 3 signals, or 3 basic information, 4 basic types of informations about itself. It's Arab. This is something that we have already covered. Then it tells us about its number, whether it's singular, plural, or musanna. Then it tells us about its grammatical gender, whether it's feminine or masculine, and it tells us about its status, whether it is marfa or nakra. We have covered all of these in section A and section B. Alright, and also in the catch-up series. Okay, so these are the 4 characteristics of an ism that every ism gives us, and the pointing noun and the musharun ilayh must be identical in terms of these ism, in terms of these characteristics of ism. Okay, that is something that you must remember. So let's get on with the pointing nouns. Alright, now this is the complete chart for all the asma ishara. Okay, but we are going to study these chunk by chunk. Alright, and we are going to discuss some important points about these as well. Alright, so it is going to be a section wise study along with the commentary. Okay, so let's begin. First of all, we have the pointers for the asma that are near. Okay, for example, so we have this. All right, this and all its variants. So this, both of these for musanna nouns, and all of these for jama. Okay, all right, so, and of course, since this is an ism, all right, these pointing nouns are ism, so of course they're going to have their rafa, nasab, and jar forms, right, which is their Arab, and they're going to have their number as well. Alright, so right now you're going to study Wahid, then you're going to study Musanna, and then Jama. And being an ism, they are also going to have their grammatical gender. Alright, so masculine or feminine. And we have already established that all the pointing nouns are marfa. Okay, so we are done with all the characteristics of ism when it comes to the pointing nouns. Okay, so for the Wahid masculine asma that are near, we point towards them with the word haza. So it means this masculine, and of course this is for singular. Okay, so haza for rafa, haza for nasab, haza for jar. As you can see, the rafa, nasab and jar forms are identical to each other, all right, and they do not carry any tanween, all right. So what do we call these triplets? We call them mabni asma, all right, and that's what we can see here, that they carry no tanween and they have identical Arab structures, so they are called mabni asma. They are included in the mabni asma. Haza, haza, haza. What about the feminine asma that are wahid and they are near? All right, so we use hazihi. All right, hazihi, hazihi, hazihi. Once again, they're also mabni. They are without tanween, and they're identical. Their Arab forms are identical. Hazihi, hazihi, hazihi. Okay. So this for feminine and wahid and near, of course. Okay. What do I say here? I say that use hazihi. All right, this one for the musharun ilay, that is jama mukassir of ghair aqil or aqil noun. All right. Now this is some section A material that we need to revise here. Let's see what's happening. First of all, Jama Mukassir. What's a Jama Mukassir? Jama Mukassir is a kind of plural that we studied in Arabic, and the English equivalent of these plurals are words such as mice or teeth. How so? Because you don't use a suffix to make the plural. All right, so for example, if you have the word sky in English, to make its plural you simply add ies. All right, so it becomes skies. And alternatively, if you have the word tooth or goose, for example, it becomes teeth. So the skeleton gets a makeover. Okay, you don't add any suffix, you simply change the word, you play with the word a little, and then you come up with a new word. That's how you make Jama Mukassir. Okay, so this is the the English equivalent of Jama Mukassir. Okay, so these Jama Mukassir of Ghair Aqil or Aqil nouns. What's Aqil? Aqil, now these are the two grammatical classifications of all the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ones who possess intellect are called aqil, the ones who do not, they are called ghair aqil. The word ghair means absence of or non. Okay, so the jama mukassir of ghair aqil as well as aqil noun are dealt as being grammatically feminine, therefore we use hazihi with them. Now one thing, not all aqil noun are always dealt as feminine. They may also be, uh, masculine. Okay, so for example, if we have the word rusul, this is the plural, the jama mukassir of an aqil noun. It means messengers. Okay, so at times the jama of aqil may be treated as feminine, but at times it gets treated as masculine for what it actually is. Okay, so hazihir rusul and hazihil qulubu. Okay, qulubu is the jama mukassir of heart. All right, we need to take a break. All right, so we are now also clear about using the feminine singular pointer for the asma that are actually jama mukassir of their aqil or aqil. All right, for example, hazihir rusul, an example for aqil now, and hazihil qulubu, for example. This is the example for ghair aqil asma. Of course, heart is ghair aqil. Okay, and hearts is qulubu, qulubun. All right, so we have haza, 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 hazihi, hazihi, hazihi. All right, now we need to go to the musanna pointers. Okay, the musanna pointers for near asma. All right, so we have both of these. Okay, once again, masculine, feminine. What do we have? We have the typical suffixes, the typical musanna suffixes. All right, for both of these. So we have hazani, ani. All right, hazaini for nasab, aini. Remember, the suffix of aini, ani, aini, aini. That's what we can observe here. Hazani, hazaini, hazaini. Both of these masculine, both of these masculine, both of these masculine. Then we have musanna, feminine. Hatani. What's happening here? Once again, the suffix of tani, and you can also observe that the sound of za is replaced with the sound of ta for feminine. Okay, so hazani becomes hatani, hazaini becomes hataini, and hataini, hazaini here becomes hataini again. Okay, once again, typical musanna suffixes, and the sound of ta is present in the feminine pointers. So we have haza, 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 hazihi, 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 hazani, hazaini, hazaini, hatani, hataini, hataini. Okay. Next, we have the pointers for Jama Asma that are near. All of these. Okay. Once again, for masculine ones, we have ha, ulai, and the best part is that for feminine as well, we have ha, ulai. Okay, so we have ha, ulai for all the Jama Asma that are near. Okay, so haulai, 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 haulai. Okay, and as you can see, they're all mabni. Why? Because they do not carry any tanween, and they are structurally same, actually identical in their three Arab forms. All right. And of course, we don't need to worry because we are going to understand what's being talked about through context. Okay, so that's what is important. Okay, next we have the pointers for far asma. Right? Okay, so for example, that we have wahid, masculine, far asma. Okay, so zalika, 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 once again mabni. Zalika means that, and this is used for masculine nouns. For wahid feminine nouns that are far away, we use tilka. Once again, you can see that the zal gets replaced with ta, right? So zalika becomes tilka, and here as well. Zalika becomes tilka, zalika becomes tilka. Okay? Zalika, 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 tilka, tilka, tilka. Okay? Next, we have the musanna pointers for asma that are far away. For example, both of those. Okay? Once again, the typical suffixes will be observed to a certain extent. Okay, we have zanika. Now it's not going to be the suffix of ani, aini, aini, but these sounds are going to come in the beginning of the word instead of at the end of the word. Okay, so you're going to see zanika, zainika, zainika. All right, and what did we have for the nearest map? We had hazani, hazaini, and once again hazaini. Okay, and here it is the other way around. All right, so these are kind of mirror images of each other. This ani, aini sound comes in the beginning of the word. So we have zanika, zainika, and then zainika for nasab and jar. Both of those, both of those, both of those. All right, and then we have musanna, um, feminine for both of those. What do we have? We have tanika. Once again, this becomes ta. All right, so tanika, tainika, tainika. Quite simple, I guess. And the best part is that these pointers, they don't get used so much in the Musaf. All right, so even if you forget them, it's perfectly fine. Okay, just know that these exist. Okay, then we have finally the last one, which is pointers for the far asma, all of those. Okay, so for the once again, as was the case in the near jama asma, where we had ha ulai for everyone and everything, we have ulaika for everything. Okay, so we have ulaika for masculine as well as feminine. Okay, and once again, it's going to be told apart by the context. And you can also see that these are all mabni because they are structurally same, rather identical in their three Arab forms. Ulaika, ulaika, ulaika. All right, for feminine as well as masculine. Okay, so I hope that you understood these things now. So technically, the um, only words that you need to remember are just these highlighted ones. okay, because these are the only new ones and others are just the repetitions. Okay, so you have haza, hazihi, hazani, hazaini, hatani, hataini, haulai, right? Then zalika, tilka, zanika, zainika, tanika, tainika, and then ulaika. So these are the only ones that you need to remember. These are the only words that you need to remember. And I would urge you to practice these pointers according to the declensions that we have already practiced in various other lessons. All right, so you have to go it you have to go with the practice like this: haza, 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 hazihi, 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 then hazani, hazaini, hazaini, hatani, hataini, hataini, haulai, 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 once again haulai, haulai, haulai. And while you're doing, you should remember what and why you're saying this. Okay, you just don't have to get your reel turn on. That you just have to you just have to just say all these things without knowing or understanding or realizing what you're saying. You have to realize what you're saying. All right, so if you're saying hazi, 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 you have to have this table running in your mind, that this is actually your wahid masculine, I'm sorry, wahid feminine ism for this. Okay, so this is hazihi, rafa, hazihi, nasab, hazihi, jar. Okay, so that's how you have to say it. So, well, you guys, you need to practice this and you need to know these. If you don't want to remember these, it's perfectly fine, but the rest of the this, all of these, that, and all of those. Okay, so you need to know these four at any cost. Okay, so know these. And well, this is our lesson. In the next lesson, inshallah, we're going to cover some finer points regarding the pointers. And by the time we begin that lesson, inshallah, I hope that you will have memorized these asma ishara. Okay, so I'll see you in the next lesson where we're going to cover the finer points related to pointers. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim. Allah Hafiz.